possesses maternity, every woman wants to develop that maternity so that what comes through her is consistent with what heaven needs. So a mother looking at a child is studying intently the other for virtue. Where is the potential? Where is the goodness? Where's the opportunity to bring out a virtue, to notice a virtue? If you notice what is good about someone and you remark on it, it will grow. And we are about the growth of the virtues. A virtue-based spirituality notices virtue and helps it to grow.
So think of this program almost as like a resilience building for women/mothers, okay? So resilience building, it tends to look at a couple of things: problem-solving skills, the ability to manage emotions, the ability to manage your thoughts, self-care, all this kind of thing. All of that's built into this program.
Especially in your closer relationships, people look at your face, family members, spouse. We are impacting our husbands. For better, for worse, we need to ask those questions. Is my husband better because he encountered me, or worse? Does he feel good about himself or not so good about himself because he encountered me? And we have to take responsibility for when people look at us, our face, we're mirroring them back. And they can walk away feeling a little bit better, or maybe not so. To have an awareness, when Margaret teaches it, it gives you a reverence for what you're about as a human being in relationship with other people, which is valuable. If we have a diocesan father who offers sacramental services amongst and protects the structure of the church, it's clear that we need a response, a feminine response, a diocesan mother, to offer something different, to offer developmental support and nurturing. In terms of our Catholic Church, it needs renewal. It needs renewal, and I would say to you that renewal is going nowhere without women.
The 4 components to attachment were the secure base, proximity seeking, the safe haven, and separation distress. Okay? When these things are present, we have an active attachment going on, and that's a good thing. In your attachments, try to fix less and try to do less. Contemplate more, and the rest will all get done. If you wonder about your attachments, child or otherwise, if you're wondering about the people around you, they sense that, okay? And they learn to wonder about themselves. And that's a wonderful gift. If people are being taught to wonder about themselves, good things happen. That is something you can offer people. Now, as we go through the weeks, though, you're going to be invited to wonder about yourself as well, because you can't really offer that if you're not going to wonder about your own self, you know? Why am I so anxious today? Why am I stressed? Why did that make me so angry? You know? Why can I not stop thinking about this one thing that's driving me crazy? Why? Wonder, you know? Don't be trying to fix it so much as wondering about where it's coming from.
So, Our Lady acted on behalf of the Father. Our Lady always had the Father's goals in mind. And I believe with my whole heart that this is what she wants. She wants to us all together to study what is good so that it grows in the church for the Father, so that we can have a holy church. If the church is going to be renewed, it will be renewed by personal holiness, my holiness, your holiness, our efforts to stretch. You're not being asked by God to scan people for flaws. God's not hoping you'll sit in front of someone and pick out all their flaws. That's not God. You're not representing God. Don't kid yourself. God wants you to know how good you are. He needs you to be connected to your virtue. What I would say to you is be aware of your thoughts. Become aware of what you're thinking And ask yourself this question. They say, you can pick from an infinite number of thoughts. It's infinite, the number of thoughts you can choose. Why choose bad ones?
Wherever we have these little conflicts or dynamics, let's call them, that are kind of where conflict is being recycled, right? Recycled rather than resolved, all right? There's always an opportunity to do something different. They're getting some kind of gratification from the drama. That's at the nub of drama. Gratification from the drama. Gratification from turning this person into their persecutor. Gratification from being the victim. Gratification from being saved. Does that make sense? Nothing about that should be gratifying. And so if you sense that there is, that's how you know there's drama.
But we have access to God's total love in every moment. We're just not used to accepting it. If you begin to, the more you accept God's love, the happier you'll become, the younger you'll look, the healthier you'll get, and the more God's plan will flow out from you. You get energy from love. Love gives energy. Love gives joy. It gives health. It gives vitality. It gives great ideas. It gives creativity. Who needs creativity? We all need creativity. My friends, the Catholic Church needs energy, creativity. The Catholic Church needs us. And it needs us certain that we are loved by God in every condition. That's where we will have the energy to reform the church. You want to be facing God and moving. You are loved and everything will be okay. That's all. That's what people need to hear from Mother. If you want to say there's a battle on, I would say that the battleground is in the mind. We're going to have to equip young people to protect their minds early. So the overall goal of working together in this formation program is to help us become thoughtful women of God. We want to become people who contemplate and go from prayer to life and life to prayer. Did you ever see yourself making the same mistake over and over and you're saying, what is my problem? That is such a nuisance. Why do I always make this mistake with people or in relationships? Yes? Okay, that's that subconscious patterns. The more we recognize that we have an interior life, the more likely we are to be able to compress those, break those down, and make choices. Ask yourself this question. How does your spouse experience you? I'm looking at a person in front of me. Let's say there's a conflict. Less words, more thinking. How does Christ see this? What is he hoping I'll do?
The experience of a close connection is the ultimate buffer against adversity. It's also the thing that makes the good stuff better.
Studied was sin. And I promise you that nobody becomes a saint by studying sin. It handicaps you. And so you want to think about what you're doing right and then how you can do more of it. And if you start by thinking about what you can do right and how you can do more of it, you'll move. The idea that Christ is hard on us is not true. He understands us more fully than we understand ourselves. So in this mind, you've got to be treating yourself with the love of Christ, laughing at yourself. Everyone wanted to be around him. Now think of the people that you want to be around. Are they fun? Absolutely. Lighthearted, kind. That's how Jesus was.
If we're going to have more intimate relationships, they have to be informed by boundaries, because getting close to someone also requires limits. The contemplative practice that you're being offered is really the primary tool for helping you to gain a more intimate relationship with God. The point being, I suppose, that all these other relationships, the one with self and the ones with other people, they're all kind of contained in that relationship anyway. The limbic system gets calm, stress chemicals go down. Stress chemicals go down, good chemicals can come up. Make sense? It's a good thing. Activates the frontal lobes, that's the most creative part of your brain. It's your spiritual brain. That's a good thing.
Jesus' goal was to deliver you and I from shame. He didn't want that. That had to go. No more, I'm a bad person. He died to destroy that once and for all. God allowed the Passion to show us, I can handle your worst and still love you. I can handle whatever you've got to throw at me, and I'm going to be right here because I am God and you are not. Your malice, your wounds are actually kind of finite. And against my love, it doesn't matter how far you go, there's still an infinite amount of mercy there for you. I think would say there are no bad people, there are bad choices, bad actions, bad reactions to human woundedness, and it can all be negotiated through penitence. Behold, I make all things new. What's the most precious thing to him? Us. He can make us new. And wants to. The mind of God is vast, it's limitless. It's got a million different ways to solve your problems. The human mind is kind of small and thinking down. So he's thinking down to what it can see. And it might say, well, the only way to solve my problem is this. I absolutely need this. But when you take that human mind and you submit it to the infinite mind, you might get 10 solutions right away. Our state of being is wonder and awe. Don't be dazzled by people's sins. Be in wonder and awe at their ability to transcend them. And I think that's what Our Lady brings to the table. And that's what women bring to the table. That maternity that can say to a child, I know you. You're a good person. And that's what we are called to bring into the church. A little more of that is what's needed in our faith communities. And people will blossom. And then they will want to be in the sacramental life. Once they understand it, they will crave it.
One of the things we talk about is self-awareness and shadow work. One of the best ways to kind of get your psyche and soul in order, if you want, is to start integrating those uncomfortable things that your ego decided for the first half of life it was going to go, no, that's not me. No, that's not how the world works. No. It's to start kind of pulling those back and contemplating and taking them in, actually. And that's what we call shadow work. At the end of the day, if you can get comfortable with your ugly parts and your vulnerable parts, you will be comfortable with other people's. You're not going to blame them. You're not going to shame them. You're not going to judge them. You're not going to distance yourself from them. You're going to be able to go, yeah, me too. Yeah, I get it, me too. You accept inside so that you can accept outside. Things that are in the shadow, ugly bits, vulnerable bits, and fabulous bits, all of which need to be integrated in the second half of life. Never too late to make amends, and it's never too late to ask for what you need.
Now tonight I'm going to talk about 8 layers of formation, because as you've seen over these 8 months, becoming a spiritual being includes being a healthy human being, and there are a lot of elements that have to be braided or plaited or woven together, aren't there? What we want to do more, go further into that, reflect God's hope for others, and always mirror God's delight in the people around us, most especially when they're getting it wrong, making mistakes, or being held accountable for something. They need to look at us and see God's hope for them. They need to look at us and see their potential. Here's what I think you're capable of. Here's what I think is great about you, so we'll dig into that. What we want to do is what Our Lady is hoping we'll do, is let the gospel message filter down till its distillation is like a precious drop of an antidote for sadness, for grief, bitterness, and that is love. The Catholic Church is an international movement of love. No matter what anyone tells you, people are wrong about us when they talk about the church in any other context. There was a group of women, teachers, in a school years ago, and they saw the children coming in who weren't fed. And the children couldn't concentrate. This group, from various families and places, some surprising. And so two of them got together. Wherever two or more are gathered in my name, I'll be there. And they said, it would really be helpful. It's a little thing we could do if we could give them a little something to eat before class. Now, this was before programs came in and had, later on the government or schools even produced programs to feed children who were at risk. So two of them started. Then a third one said, that's a great idea. And you know who else I think is hungry? Is this other children.
Communication is key. It's kind of a cliche, and you hear people talk about it, but it is the truth. Communication is everything. So if you learn how to communicate more effectively in conflict, A, you won't avoid it when you shouldn't, and B, you'll be more constructive in it when you need to do it. Where there are boundary issues, there is conflict. There's a creative tension between intimacy and conflict, a creative tension that can be extremely useful when harnessed correctly. There are 4 types of communication, 4 different types. You have passive communication, aggressive communication, assertive communication, and empathic communication.